Silence Before Dawn, the Durham tragic story. On February 12th, a peaceful Durham neighborhood was still asleep before the sun rose. In the gloom, porch lights flickered. Driveways are unaltered. Something had already gone horribly wrong inside one house. By the time first responders arrived, 2 children were unresponsive. By the end of that morning, one of them would be gone. Additionally, Andrea Faust, their 41-year-old mother, would be arrested. Welcome to Unveiled Truth Crime Tales, where we examine real cases with depth, clarity, and respect for the lives affected. If you value responsible true crime storytelling that focuses on verified facts, not speculation, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss an episode. Tonight, we carefully examined the known, what has been established, and the heartfelt plea that a husband in mourning made following the event. This is a story about silence before sunrise and the questions that followed. On February 12th, emergency services were dispatched to a residence in Durham, North Carolina, after a report that 2 children were unresponsive inside the home. The 911 call specifics have not been made public. The tone of the caller's voice is unknown to us. We have no idea what exactly was said. What we know is this. When officers arrived, they entered the home and found 2 children not breathing. First responders began life-saving efforts immediately. CPR, medical intervention, urgent coordination between police and emergency medical personnel. 1 child passed away despite those efforts. The other child was transported to a nearby hospital. Within hours, the house had transformed from a private family residence into an active investigation scene. Shortly after officers responded, 41-year-old Andrea Faust was taken into custody. Authorities later confirmed she was arrested and charged in connection with the incident. There are still few public details. Officials have not released a full narrative of what investigators believe happened inside the home. No motive has been publicly confirmed. No detailed timeline has been shared. The fact that 1 child died and another was injured in the case, which is being treated as a criminal investigation, has been confirmed. As patrol cars lined the street, neighbors watched from windows and doorways, stunned by the unfolding reality. A place that once blended quietly into the neighborhood now stood at the center of tragedy. When emergency vehicles leave, there is a stillness that follows. In Durham, that stillness felt heavier than usual. Neighbors described shock. Some said they never expected something like this to happen so close to home. Small memorials began appearing, flowers placed carefully near the property, stuffed animals set gently on the grass. Community grief often shows itself in quiet gestures. Behind the scenes, investigators began reconstructing the morning's events, reviewing medical findings, documenting the scene, conducting interviews, keeping evidence alive. However, public information remained limited and measured. In cases involving children, authorities frequently restrict information to preserve privacy and guarantee a fair trial. In the days that followed, Andrea Faust's husband, the children's father, addressed the public. People who saw him said that he was clearly broken. He made what was perceived by many as a desperate plea. He asked the public for compassion. He urged patience as the legal process unfolds. He didn't try to fight the case in front of the cameras. He did not provide investigative details. He instead expressed his grief and disbelief. Imagine the emotional complexity. A child was lost. Another went to the hospital. A spouse now facing serious criminal charges. His words reflected a family fractured by tragedy and a future suddenly uncertain. Durham is a city known for its resilience and close-knit communities. However, tragedies involving children have a profound impact. Neighbors described the family as private. There were no widely reported disturbances leading up to the incident. That absence of visible warning often leaves communities struggling for answers. Mental health awareness and family support systems dominated local discourse. But officials have not confirmed any motive. And until court proceedings reveal more, many questions remain unanswered. Andrea Faust now faces the legal system. Typically, the path forward includes your first appearance in court, bond hearing, formal arraignment, evidence review, pre-trial proceedings, possible trial. The prosecution will bear the burden of proof. The presented evidence will be scrutinized in great detail by the defense. Medical experts may testify. Forensic findings may be introduced. Courtrooms operate on documented facts and legal standards, not public emotion. And that procedure might take some time. One child survived that morning and was transported to the hospital. Authorities have not publicly disclosed extensive details about the child's condition. Privacy protections shield minors in situations like this, and rightfully so. Behind every case file is a child whose life has been forever altered. Medical recovery is one journey. Emotional recovery may be another. Family, medical professionals, and the community as a whole all play an increasingly important role as support systems. When tragedies unfold behind closed doors, the public often seeks a clear explanation, a single reason, a turning point in time. However, investigations rarely run smoothly. At this stage, Andrea Faust has been arrested and charged. She is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. Authorities have not publicly released a detailed account of what occurred inside the home that morning. And until legal proceedings unfold, the full picture remains incomplete. There are cases filled with dramatic twists, and there are cases defined by stark, painful facts. On the 12th of February in Durham, 2 children were found to be dead. 1 child died. One of them made it. Their mother was arrested and charged. Their father made a public plea for understanding and patience. Stories that use silence rather than speculation often have the greatest impact. At Unveiled Truth, Crime Tales, we believe true crime should be handled with responsibility, clarity, and respect for those affected. Subscribe to the channel and enable notifications if you value in-depth coverage that focuses on verified information rather than rumors. Your support helps us continue bringing thoughtful, fact-based storytelling to cases that deserve careful attention. We will continue to follow verified developments in this case as they become available. Until next time, stay informed, stay compassionate, and remember that behind every headline are real lives.